Then the next video we will apply this concept in problem 2, but for now I just want to give you some more insight by going into a few slides to talk about this different type of contract. So the implication for different type of contract is shown in this figure. So from here, I think in the face-to-face, I asked you to stop and look at the picture and then see what this figure tells us about the type of contract, about the type of contract applied to other characteristics in terms of client control, client's flexibility, etc. So since you stop and now you watch what I'm going to present, then here this is the two-dimensional finger as you can see there. So in the vertical, you see the client controls and flexibility. When it go to maximum, it bottom and minimum on top. The other is the horizontal. It's about the client risks, minimum left, maximum right. Contractor incentive to perform, something we mentioned earlier, then maximum on the left and then minimum on the right. And client project definition, it means that at the time you sign this contract, how much you define the project, what is the scope of project look like, have to be definitely defined or is still vague. So if it's firm, then it go to the left, and then changeable, it means that at the time we sign contract, we are not sure what we are going to do for the project, so that is changeable. Now with that, what are the implications for different project in here? So in this case, in terms of application, as you can see there, when the project have firm definition, it's lump sum should be used, lump sum contract should be used, or lump sum with variation if go move to some uncertainty in client definition, then we have that. But if we use the lump sum or lump sum variation, so that time of fixed price, then in terms of the client controls and flexibility, have a minimum control, minimum flexibility from clients, because the you see project already definition is firm, and you sign lump sum, it's difficult, very hard, or it's very costly for the client to change or to get involved in the project. So that is the one with the lump sum relative to the project definition, and then the control and flexibility from client, so that implication, so that client will select appropriate type of contract with different preference that they want. If they want full in control, then maybe go to somewhere here that have minimum control, maximum control, and maximum flexibility. And at the same time, with that project, we have client risk also minimum, because that is a lump sum contract. So regardless of what the project spent, overrun or underrun, the contractor tend to take on the risk. So it will be minimum to clients. But that is the theory. In reality, whatever the risk, at the end, it will be go to the owner. Because if you bid on the uncertain, you tend to put more contingency, etc. Owner will pay at the end. So that the theory that clients will take less risk, because at the time you sign contract, I know that is the lump sum amount I pay. If I don't touch anything, I don't worry about the cost overrun regardless. Contractor incentive to perform in the lump sum, it have to be maximum, because that if I save money, that's my money, so I have to perform good. If it not, then I lost. So that why maximum. So that is the time of lump sum. The other is the unit price bill of quantity, that is called unit price schedule of rate, when we know the fixed unit price for each item, but we don't know the actual quantity of the work. And in this case, in the middle, it's somewhere in the middle in terms of flexibility, because you can change the scope, the actual amount in certain range, and then the risk will be in the middle, because you control the unit price fixed, but you don't control the quantity of the work, because remember the cost equal to the unit price and the quantity. So that in here, and the other cost reimbursable, cost fixed fee, percentage fee, incentive fee, etc. And in this case, and you can see client have fully control, maximum flexibility in cost plus percentage fee, because that whatever I change, I will pay you the cost, and then I will pay you the fee based on the percentage. Less dispute, I fully control. But at the end, when you have that, you want more control, more flexibility in this time of contract. Then you will have maximum risks because you don't know how much you are going to pay for the project, how much incentive the contractor will be performed. Okay, so that's the problem of this one. So for that reason, normally the cost fixed fee or percentage fee apply for the project that have more changeable. At the time you sign contract, we don't have a complete design, engineering, drawing, etc. Then you can go cost plus. Because if you go to the lump sum when you don't have the complete design, then more uncertainty, contractor tend to put more contingency, more overhead, more markup because to account for unknowns at the time they bid the contract. So with that one, as you can see, tend to apply for projects that don't have a clear definition scope of work. That cost plus incentive fee. So every time of contract exists for a reason, depends on the characteristic of project, depends on how the preference from the client and contractor perspective, how the risks that you want to be taken or you want to transfer to the other party. So that have a relationship in there in this finger. And then the next finger, I also ask you to stop and think about it before we continue. So in this case, we also have 5 different time of contract that we say. Of course, we have 6, and then lump sum fixed price. So that is here. Unit price, we can put it in 5 in there. Guaranteed maximum price, GMP, which is FGCU normally use for major project. Target estimate, in this case CPIF. Cost plus reimbursable fixed fee, CPFF, and cost reimbursable percentage fee, CPPF. So that, and from bottom to up here. And here is the timeline, project duration, and as you can see here, in terms of the engineering required to start construction, if you use cost reimbursable time of project like cost plus percent fee, you may have a minimal engineering work when you start the construction work because you can do it fast track concurrently with the engineering. But if you want to do the lump sum fixed price, then engineering have to take time to complete the design work before we can start the construction. So that is the, because go back to the previous one, you want the lump sum, it need to have the firm project definition. That's why we need time for engineering to do the design work before we start construction. So that use depends on the level of definition from the engineering standpoint of the project. And it takes time to do that. So for cost plus percent fee, you can start construction with minimal engineering. But for lump sum and number 4, GMP, something FGCU apply, you need to have a definite definition of the project design. So that here. And then in terms of the construction time, as you can see, it tend to be shorter when you have a detailed design work. This one, it tend to be longer for construction compared to this one, this gap. But the overall project duration from design to construction, it tend to be less for the cost reimbursable. It tend to be more because it take time for the design to complete the work. So it in the linear sequence design and then construction, this one can do concurrent, so that can save time in theory, and that for project definition. And how the implication of different scenario apply to this time of contract, and that go to the relative cost of the contract for different time of scenarios, and that I'm going to explain here. The first one, if you assume the financial outcome of the project is estimated $15 million and contract for the owner on the basis of 5 different form of commercial term that we talking here. So what will be the outcome for each scenario? This is the cost plus percentage fee, and fee is 5% on the actual costs. So if the costs, this is actual cost, will be reimbursed. If your target is 15 million, Now it have saving in this scenario only 13.5 million. What the contractor profit? It will be profit the 5% of the actual cost, because that is percentage fee, then 675. If the second scenario for this project, if the cost 16.5 million, then he get 5% of that. So whatever the cost incur, you get percent on that, so you get more. So that, as you can see, the contractor will not for the CPPF cost plus percentage fee, the contractor have no motivation to save the project cost, because when cost more, I get more money. See here, right? And then the owner, of course, have to pay the cost and the fee, so it will pay more at the project has spent more money. And go to the next one, cost plus percent fixed fee, cost plus fixed fee. We see CPFF. So regardless of the project cost, the contractor will receive the fixed amount of fee. So both scenario, you see there, the contractor received the same amount of money, 750 fixed fee, and of course the owner will pay the cost and the fee. So that here. Then cost plus incentive fee, 5% profit and 50 by 50 split of underrun or overrun. So whatever saving or whatever the overruns, it will be shared. And in this scenario, 50-50. In the contract, it can be 70, 30%, 40, 60%, 60, 40%. It depends on the contract. In this case, hypothetically, 50-50. So if the same scenario, if 13.5 million, what is the contractor receive? He or she will receive the fee. Okay, and that fee, based on the original estimate, 15 million in here, 5%. And then the first scenario is saving what? 15 minus 13.5 million, so it will be 1.5 million. He or she receive 50% of that split, so that's why you have 750% extra. The fee and the reward for the saving, it get 1.5 million. Compared to yes, it's more. Now go to the next scenarios. If the project cost is spent 16.5 million, and then of course he or she will receive the fee, the same amount, and then in this case overrun. The target is 15 million. Now you spend 16.5 million. So the overrun is 16.5 minus 15, so 1.5 million. And you have to take care of the rest of that 50% split, 50%. So it will be zero. So in this case, it means that the contractor gain nothing. Now, if you spend even more than this money, 17 million, then you get loss. So that's the contract. And same for the owner, the more spend on project, you have to pay more, that for sure. So pay for the cost and the fee. In this case, only pay for the cost because the owner already retained the overrun that's shared by the contractor. That's why zero in here. Go there, 16.5 million. And now the fourth, GMP, guarantee maximum price. Like I say, FGCU model, and many public adopt that. 5% profit on estimated cost. So that one is estimated 5%. So we have that one. So that is the maximum price we have, because the price is including the actual cost and the fee. And in this 5% fee, so it should not be exceed. The owner will not pay more than 15,750,000. So if the cost 13.5 million, then what the contractor profit? He or she will receive the same fee in there. The second scenario, if the project 16.5 million, now the total amount price I pay for both costs and fee is 15,750,000. Now it exceed. Then in this case, the contractor have to take care 750,000 instead of get the fee 750,000. Then we have to pay actually loss 750,000. Similarly, this scenario, the contractor, the owner pay less, and then with the 16.5 million, the owner only pay the maximum amount, the already guaranteed, that is 15,750,000. So that you can see, regardless of what scenario, that is the maximum the owner will pay, and the contractor may get lost if they don't manage the project well. So each method have advantage and disadvantage. And the last one is the fixed price, so lump sum, and this is the bid, 15,750,000. So the cost, two scenarios. If the cost this way, and that is the amount they receive a lump sum from the owner, then the cost spent, so they will get money, 2,250,000. Now, if the cost exceeds the amount that they receive lump sum from the owner, 16.5 million, then they lost. Okay, and for the lump sum, regardless of scenarios, the owner will pay the same amount original agreed in the lump sum contracts, 15,750, as you can see here. So let's understand this mechanism with different scenario and apply that in problem 2 in today's lesson.